Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ben DeMott. I am a junior in the Sussex County Technical School's e-commerce program, and today I will be pitching a sell on one of the automotive sector's most iconic and well-known brands, the Ford Motor Company. There are a couple historical events in the history of Ford Motor Company that I would like to highlight to you judges. First, beginning in 2006, when Alan Mulally was declared president and CEO of Ford Motor Company. Mulally was able to prevent Ford Motor Company from seeking a government loan and declaring bankruptcy in the 2008 housing crisis. This is crucial when comparing to other companies in the automotive sector, such as Fiat Chrysler Automotive, who had to seek a government loan of well over $80 billion, and General Motors, who not only had to declare bankruptcy, but also had to have a loan of over $70 billion. In 2007, Ford and Microsoft conjoined each other and created Sync, which was intended to be an integrated in-vehicle communications and entertainment system to allow users to have supported devices to connect their device to their car to stream music, answer phone calls, etc. This began with all Ford, Lincoln, and at the time Mercury vehicles beginning in the 2008 model year. In 2011, Ford did discontinue their Mercury nameplate to continue to evolve Ford and Lincoln brands in their current state in the year 2020. Ford's main goal with the Mercury name was to provide a budget-oriented luxury car or SUV to those who did not have the financial means to buy a brand new Lincoln. All Mercurys were based off their Ford or Lincoln counterparts. For example, the older Mountaineer was based off the Ford Explorer. In 2014, Ford opened the curtains to the 13th generation F-150 pickup truck, which brought in a game-changing all-military grade aluminum body to the midsize pickup truck class. Ford also celebrated the 50th anniversary of their iconic pony car, the Mustang. In 2016, Ford Smart Mobility, which was an expanded business model for the company, which was created in March of 2016, was formed, which was intended to serve as a auto and a mobility company focusing on designing, manufacturing, marketing, financing, and servicing all vehicles alike. In 2017, Jim Hackett became the president and the CEO, and he publicly stated on the company's YouTube channel on April 27, 2020, quoting, "We're going to do everything we can, working together with our family of employees, dealers, customers, and the people in our communities we serve around the world to beat this virus." And finally, in 2019, Ford debuted the long-awaited electric Mustang, known as the Mustang Mach-E, which was a very controversial reveal, as many criticized the car for looking too much like a crossover. The 6th Gen Explorer was also debuted, as well as the first ever Explorer ST, and this was also a game-changing unveil, as this was the first time that the Explorer would be riding on the rear-wheel drive architecture. In the year 2020, Ford has 8 assembly plants primarily located in the United States of America, with locations in the states of Michigan, Illinois, Mississippi, and Ohio. When I evaluated Ford Motor Company on April the 8th of 2020, it was trading at $5.03 a share, with the enterprise value being at $142.118 million. The dividend yield was at 11.92%, but unfortunately has since lost that due to the current state of the economy with the coronavirus pandemic. Its beta was at 1.36, earnings per share was at a penny a share, the PE ratio was at 251.5, and its intrinsic value per share was at 1.1. As you can see in the stock chart provided, Ford Motor Company has had a lot of ups and downs, which can primarily be seen after the market closed on January 17th in the year 2011. In the year 2020, Ford Motor Company is led by CEO and President Jim Hackett, as well as Executive Chairman William Clay Jr. The automotive sector is an evolutionary market and a growing segment. Whether you are shopping for a small fuel-efficient econobox, your kid's first car, or your toy, as many call it, there are many different choices and brands to shop and choose from. Currently, in the year 2020, manufacturers are primarily focusing on performance, fuel economy, aerodynamics, appeal to the day-to-day consumer, and technology. I am rating Ford Motor Company as a sell due to these following factors. Unfortunately, Ford did lose its high dividend yield, which was considered to be one of the main standing points that investors had with the company, as it held well over an 8% dividend yield, as I did state earlier in the presentation, and a downside potential when it is compared to other companies. As a company, Ford's strengths include a strong branded image, a global supply chain around the world, and continuation of research and development when producing their newer vehicles. Weaknesses include a global or limited global scope of production network around the world, its higher cost of vehicles, as the basic Lincoln Navigator costs well over the $76,000 range, and the top model of the Ford Super Duty truck crosses well over into the $80,000 mark, and the consistency of product recalls. Opportunities for the company include eco-friendly vehicles, increased customer base, as well as self-driving cars, as they are now becoming a huge part in our day-to-day lives, especially now with the company Tesla doing the autopilot, and many other companies soon to follow, and its threats include the high competition in all markets, specifically too in the pickup truck range with the big three, or the other companies rather, such as GM, Chrysler, Toyota, just to name a few, the increase in price of raw materials, and regulations in compliance with emissions. Ford Motor Company has reached 1.35 million units worldwide in the year 2019. Global sales top off at the United States with 40.35% of sales going to them, China at 17.48%, Mexico at 1.4%, UK at 6.74%, and Australia coming in at last at 1.07%. For Porter's 5 forces of the company, if you need to refer to the legend located on the bottom right, go right ahead. I'm rating the bargaining power of customers at a moderate at a 2 out of 5. Intensity of competitive rivalry, also a moderate at 2 out of 5. Bargaining power of suppliers, a moderate at 2 out of 5. Threat of substitutes, a moderate at 2 out of 5. And barriers to entry with no threat at a 5 out of 5. Currently, the target price for Ford Motor Company is at $9, which makes up a part of the downside potential at 75.7% the stock does currently hold. These numbers are based off the following key assumptions. Growth rate of the stock in the next 5 years is expected to be at 2%, and the terminal growth rate is currently at 4% for the stock. With every company an investor decides to invest in or is currently researching to invest in, there always comes a risk. As the old saying once went, for every action, there is always a reaction. The risks of Ford Motor Company include a higher demand for electric vehicles. Currently, in the year 2020, there are 3.3 million units of electric vehicles globally. More people are currently switching from their gas-powered cars to battery-operated or electric-operated vehicles. And this also includes companies such as Tesla, or if they're shopping for a hybrid, they're going over to like a Chevy Volt or a Ford Escape hybrid, stuff like that. And they currently struggle in a downscale auto market. Before I end this presentation, I would also like to go on a personal standpoint on why I'm pitching Ford Motor Company to you guys today. Ford Motor Company holds a huge sentimental value in my family. Many members of my family, such as my grandmother, my grandfather, my uncle, my parents, and even myself, have owned Ford vehicles in the past. Just to name a few, my Nana has owned several Lincoln Town cars, a Mercury Grand Marquis, and a Mercury Milan, which has since been passed down to my parents. My Pop primarily owned Ford as a brand, primarily also trucks beginning in the year 1960. My uncle, as I call him Gunker, has owned a Ford Elite, Explorer, Ranger, and an F-250. My parents, they had inherited my grandma's 2006 Milan and my grandfather's 2010 F-250, and has owned several F-Series pickup trucks, an Expedition, and I believe that was all they had owned. And I currently myself, I daily drive a 2007 Explorer Eddie Bauer, and I have no plans of getting rid of it after nearly 12,000 miles of ownership due to its reliability, durability, and comfy ride out on the highway. Once again, I would like to thank you guys for taking the time and listening to my stock pitch of Ford Motor Company. Thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your day.